Welcome to 1 Million Cups Chico chapter at our new location here at Garden Villa Cafè. We have Jen here this morning. She is one of our new sponsors. We will be here at this location for
Eternity.
Next year.
Yeah.
Eternity.
Eternity.
So we're glad to be here. It's a new location, new vibe, new feel, all new energy. It's a brand new year. So let's look forward to some awesome connections, entrepreneurship, sharing, collaborating, and finding new ways to be prosperous in the Chico community. So 1 Million Cups is a weekly platform put on by the Kauffman Foundation, nonprofit. They help entrepreneurs across the United States. And this is one of their side projects to help open the front door and create an ecosystem across the nation to level the platform so everyone has a voice about sharing their ideas, creating their own business, becoming an entrepreneur, and finding a place in the community. So we decided to do our own in Chico because here in Chico, either you work for the schools or the government or other large entities, and you have to create your own job.
Or
so that's why we're here. Everyone has their own thing right here. So it happens every week across the nation. There's 150 chapters. Everyone's doing the same thing right now, introducing, having their coffee, wondering about what their next meeting is going to be like, how long this is going to take. But we need you to sit down, just calm, listen, and take this moment because these are like-minded people right now that understand your trials, your tribulations, just your failures, your successes, all the different things that you have to go through owning your own business. Because a lot of the people, a lot of your friends don't understand what you go through. They don't understand the situations that you have to talk about. They don't understand if you're going to make payroll, what's going on the next day. All they're worried about is getting up, punching in, coming home, cooking dinner, doing the same thing again tomorrow. We are not like that. We're never going to be like that. So, it's hard to find other people to talk about those situations and problems. So this is a place to come, share, collaborate, find other people, ask questions, ask for help, offer your help, be a supportive person, and help. Let's make Chico a better community. So today, I was going to talk about something else. Sponsors. So, sponsors and organizers. So our sponsor today, our new one, is Garden Villa Cafè. So they will do a hosting facility and some coffee this next year, which would be amazing. We have, what else we have?
6 degrees. Chico
Starts. 6 degrees. They've been helping us all this last year with their coffee, so I want to say thank you to them. Very much so. What else we have now? Danny Schwartz, consulting with all our multimedia and Facebook social sharing. We also have our organizers here. Myself, Tim Sharkey with Chico Start, Wendy Porter, Danny Schwartz, Kent Hastings helping with our audio and tech now this year. Thank you very much. Lynn, you just signed up. I should have had an email to you on your Slack invites to everyone as well. I don't know if they said on or not. So thank you, everybody. And now we're going to do our presentation. We have Jen with Garden Villa Cafè and the rest of the story on how she accomplished opening this place up and how we're here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, guys. I can talk pretty loud. This is awkward, so sorry. Sorry. All right. So a little bit about us. First of all, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. This is our new little love child.
The music off? It's up there.
Oh, watch. I can have him turn it down. Hey, Lauren, when you get a second, will you turn them all down? Yeah. I'm not that tech savvy, sorry. What I have learned by opening the kitchen is a happy cook is good. So if he wants his music, he has his music back there. And I let him go. So a little bit about us. Like I said, thank you guys for coming. We opened this little love child of a restaurant October 25th of last year. It was our 5th business. We opened 2 last year. Most entrepreneurs need their head checked. I'm one of those, but here we are today. So we had a really good run in the first couple weeks, and then all of us experienced the fire, and it devastated a lot of us in a number of ways. So I'll touch back more on this place in a minute, but just to give a little background on us, this is Sean, my boyfriend. We've been together almost 14 years. 12 years ago, we got this crazy wind up our skirt to buy a coffee shop. Drop everything we know, everything we love. For being young, 22 and 24, we had pretty decent jobs in Chico. Born and raised here, love this place. And we decided to throw it all away and start a coffee shop. So here we are. That was 12 years ago. We opened our first one, or we acquired the first one right across from Enlow. There is 4 Caljavas actually in Chico. We own 2 of them. Mike and Kelly Huber own another 2. But we got that Esplanade one. That was our first experience in entrepreneurship life. And then about 6 years later, we acquired the other one on Notre Dame, on the Rayleigh Shopping Center on the other side of town. We were there about 3-4 years, and they say, hey, guess what, guys? We're putting a drive-through Starbucks in your shopping center, like it or not. Cool. Thanks, guys. There's a lot of things you can do as a business owner to compete with corporations. The quality of my coffee, I'm going to kill them. My staff, I'm going to kill you. My environment, I'm going to kill you. The fact you got a drive-through, cool. Can't do anything about that instead of running outside and handing you coffee. That was our biggest hiccup. That was the one thing that kept us up at night. We were losing sleep. We only had 2 stores. At that time, there wasn't a lot of leeway for a lot of drop in sales. So we fought it at city council. We fought it at the building code, or I can't remember exactly what entity. I knew Starbucks was going to win, but I was like, I'm going to give them hell. Watch me. I'm going to push it back. I'm going to do whatever I can. And I remember sitting in the chamber, and it was literally just Sean and myself and his parents and my mom and my little iPad with my speech. I was like shaking like a leaf, like, oh, here comes, late, mind you, because they're a corporation and they don't care about anybody else. A herd of people in suits. They had big blown up pictures. They had aerial maps. They had laptops. They had rolling carts of paperwork. And I was like, oh, here we go, guys. So everybody gives about, I don't remember, they give you like 2 or 3 minutes. So I try to keep it non-emotional, very like, all right, what does Chico envision itself to be? We want to be more environmentally friendly. We want to do roundabouts. We don't want more drive-throughs. We want, I was pulling up their Chico envisioning what they wanted to be in 2020, I think it was back then. And I was like, does this really fall in line with what we want as Chico? Do we really want to let this happen? Do we want the 9th Starbucks to come in and possibly cannibalize some small business? So I say all my stuff, swear to God, right hand to Jesus. They kicked back in their chairs, looked at each other. They said, I don't think we need to say anything. Didn't say a word. Nothing to review anything that I said. And then they got their building permit, and so the story goes. But what we did to combat that on our end was we opened our Chico Coffee Company right next to our DMV. So we timed it in a way that we had something that was I call low maintenance, Monday through Friday, 7 to 4. I have great staff I can stick over there. If sales really started tanking, we had a backup plan. So that was how we tried to overcome that. So that's where that little creation right across the way came about 4 years ago. Luckily, on average, about $1,000 to $1,200 a month gross sales lost to Starbucks. It didn't really affect business. It just kind of changed our lifestyle. We had to, redelegate our finances, our energy, time, But what I did learn from that whole thing, Rick?
When was this threatened Starbucks expansion?
They put that guy in 4 years ago. So it was the old Bank of America. What Starbucks did was they kind of exploited this gray area, because Chico is pretty hard-nosed about not putting in any more drive-thrus. Trust me, I've tried.
Yeah.
They want a pint of blood, firstborn. I mean, and still it's unrealistic. But what Bank of America was right there was they called it a low volume or low traffic. Maybe 4 or 5 cars backed up because they had their ATM through there. So they exploited this gray area and they converted it and made it a high volume, high traffic drive-through. And literally, you'd laugh if I brought it up. The city of Chico's like, well, Starbucks, if you move this plant over here and you plant that tree there and you paint this on the ground, I guess you can do that. I mean, it was like it was laughable, honestly, how bad the city of Chico bent over for them, but that's neither here nor there. So here we are, 5 years later. Yeah, I think, who used to do the editor for the Chico ER? He just retired? David Little, yeah, he did. I was calling everybody. I was like, David Little, the mayor, the chief of police. I was calling Caltrans. I was calling anybody that would listen and get any kind of ammunition I can. He did do a pretty nice little write-up about it. Kind of made me look like I was scared, which I didn't appreciate, but whatever. Did a write-up about it because it was kind of just this big corporation coming in and bullying the city of Chico. But whatever. If anything I learned from that whole situation, if you're a Starbucks customer, you're not going to be a Cal Java customer. If you're a Cal Java customer, chances are you're not going to be a Starbucks customer. We did lose, there's certain situations that I can appreciate why somebody would want to go through the drive-thru, and that would be if it was really, really bad weather. If you had a small child that was hard to get in and out of a car, let's say you hurt your foot, disabilities. I understood that. And those are the things that we couldn't necessarily compete with, but I gave them hell. So that's where this little Chico Coffee Company guy came up. We built that one out from the ground up. There had never been anything there before. That was our first build out. Whew, build outs. City of Chico. Yeah. So we got through that, and I'm still alive. That was 4 years ago, actually, January 21st. That was our 4-year anniversary there. 2017, I was doing a bunch of catering jobs for this one company in town. They do adoptions. Great family, great company. They were running me hard, though, for a few weeks. And we were at almost the end of this catering job, and I was just spent, and it was multiple times a day, multiple times a week. And anyways, the owner came up to me and was like, Jen, I have this opportunity for you. And I was like, kill me. More catering, yay. And he's like, how do you feel about downtown? I was like, I'm not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. I've lived in Chico my entire life, and we've run businesses now for a decade, and there's 0% chance I'm going down there. He's like, well, what if I told you it was Pete's Coffee? And I was like, I'm listening. Say that again? Never did I think that Pete's Coffee was going to go out. They've been there 15 years, so we got in touch. That gentleman happened to be the owner of the property, David Halimi, good guy. He owns Hava Chico. And we sat down, we negotiated to take over the Pete's location downtown. With downtown comes plenty of different uphill battles. You'll learn soon enough. And we've got a really good standing with the community. We've got a really good infrastructure, and I think we hit it head on. And if anybody's been around Chico long enough, they know that we've cleaned that corner up pretty good. We've diverted some of our clientele away due to that, but I think they're all going to come back tenfold. So there was that. That opened April of 2018. We had envisioned a 6-week turnaround. City of Chico kiboshed that. Psych. Then 12 weeks later, we were up and running, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you were budgeting for 6 weeks and you just doubled how long you planned on being out, that was life-changing for us. So 12 weeks later, we're up and running, and this gentleman, Wayne Cook, comes into our lives. Bless his soul. He says, Jen, I just bought this beautiful complex. There used to be a restaurant right here, and I'd love to have you in there. I'm not going to pitch it to anybody else. I don't want to talk to anybody else. You're the one. And I said, bless your soul, Wayne, but I am tired and I am broke. So this might not work right now. Timing is great for you, not so much for me. So over the course of a couple months, he just kept coming, and the deals got a little better and a little better and a little better, to where finally we were just like, here we go. I guess we're going to open a restaurant. Like I said earlier, we opened this guy October 25th, and quite frankly, we were doing pretty good. I mean, for not really knowing what we were doing with the restaurant side of it, there was plenty of growing pains on that end, but no advertising money. There was we unlocked the doors and pushed out the patio furniture, and we're like, hope you come. And we were doing really good. I was pleasantly surprised we were covering our bills the first couple weeks, and then November 8th hit, the fire. Sean and I made a commitment that night, actually. Sorry if I get emotional. We are going to open every single store, every day open to close. Sorry. We didn't do crap for sales. Let's be real. We were doing $70 a day, $100 a day. But it was a place to get warm. It was a place to charge your phone. A place to use a restroom. I had customers sleeping in my parking lot that would just come in, and it'd be grown men in like firefighter gear, and they'd look at me and just start bawling. We hugged a lot of people and we cried. Sorry. It hurt everybody. And I mean, for me to say we lost sales, big lip. You know, people lost their homes, they lost loved ones, so. But I didn't care. It was going to be ugly. It was going to be a skeleton staff, and I didn't care. So we lost a lot. November. And quite frankly, into December too. And if anybody knows anything about coffee, we're pretty cyclical. So normally November, December, that's when we make all our money to help support the rest of the year. So it didn't just hurt us. It was quite frankly devastating. But, okay, if anybody knows entrepreneurship life, it's like, cool, my life's doing good, awesome, cool. Okay, I'm going to file bankruptcy. Well, shit. Okay, no, it might be pretty cool. Like, this is fine. I might have to get a second job. Okay, no. Oh, shit. You know, I mean, that's just your life. You wake up every day scrambling to make payroll, borrowing money from family. Yeah, so I wouldn't take back what we did for anything, but it was emotionally draining, financially draining. Couldn't have happened at a worse time for us, but we're Chico. We're not going anywhere, and I wouldn't change it for the world, like I said. Sorry, I still can't talk about the fire without getting upset. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. So, that's an entrepreneur. I mean, we took 2018 was a ton of opportunity for us. It was opportunities we'll probably never see again, honestly. So, slightly nutty as we are, we went for it, and it just happened to be that things out of our control kind of hit us super hard. And it was depressing. It was devastating. You know, we couldn't sleep at night. We were wondering how we were going to pay bills. But at the end of the day, you pull yourself up and you put your head together, and how are we going to get past this? Started going to 1 Million Cups, started having you guys here. I outsource some things that I'm not good at. Social media, I suck. I hate it. I'm sorry. I genuinely despise it. But it's an evil necessity. So I was able to outsource some of that stuff. Fortunately, and I hate myself for saying this word, but 4 of my girls that used to work for me lost their homes. 2 of them lost their jobs on top of that. So they're in the area, so I get them back. I mean, I hate that I get them back in this way, but every time I walk into my stores and I see one of them, it's like a warm hug. All right, let's move on. Okay. An area of improvement for this specific area that we're talking about, Garden Villa, is my location. Let's be real. I'm about, a few hundred yards too far from visibility. People that have lived here their entire lives, I can say, Cohasset Road behind Golden Valley Bank, and they're like, huh? What? But I also feel like, as much as a disadvantage as that is, once people find us, it's a great advantage to us too. This plaza is great. The fountain's beautiful. The whole structure is really desirable. So once I get people back here, I literally sent out this flyer because I was like, hey, no joke, I'm right here. Hey, Sarah, come find me. Parking's decent. It depends on the time of the day. But what we're envisioning for long term, on the weekends, this place is a ghost town. So when we're open, it'll be ample parking. Hopefully that's when we get all of our main draw in that can help us throughout the rest of the week. So, an area of improvement for us. Look at these stunningly good-looking people. That's our Notre Dame store, and that's us here. So we have some growing pains. There's 2 of us. For a long time, we had 2 stores. That's perfect. For a while, we had 3. Okay. A little juggling, but you need to be there at this time. You need to be here at this time. One of us is running around putting out fires.
Then we added 4 and 5 last year. I feel like I'm wrangling cats, and I'm just putting out one fire and then another fire and another fire. Like, we don't really have a rhythm or a routine. I don't know where I'm necessarily supposed to be. I'm just literally answering phone calls and dealing with stuff. That's a definitely growing pain that we need to figure out. A couple different options that we've thrown around is hiring general managers for each store. Coffee industry is weird in the fact that we get tips. So when California, bless California's soul, Rick.
Jen, do you have a PA, personal assistant?
Hold on. We're getting there. Why are you jumping ahead? We got to stretch this out to 15 minutes. We can put individual store managers at each store. Oh, thankfully, California, bless their soul, they suck. You can't take tips. I can call you assistant manager. I can call you second banana. I can call you my BFF. If you have a title, you can't take tips, which changes the structure of our payroll because these girls make $25-$30 a day in tips. So if I have to pay 5 people that much more per day, what does that do to my living situation? I'd be homeless, first of all, and what would make it out? What would they have to hold up on their end to make that advantageous for me? And unless they're doing my laundry and helping me with dishes at home, I don't think that works. So another one would be similar to a personal assistant. We were going to qualify it as like a general manager, somebody that I can put in a little van, do some shopping around town, help with some scheduling, help with the operational stuff at each store, and that's something that we're getting into. I've never been in a position to hire somebody like that, so we're doing a lot of research. What does it look like to buy someone a car? What does it look like insurance-wise? What does payroll look like? What are job descriptions? What are workman's comp things? So we put out a lot of feeders for a lot of questions, and we're getting some feedback, and we're mulling over that idea right now, and it just can't happen fast enough, honestly. But that's been our biggest struggle, because as excited you are and you're opening these new stores and you want to, gung-ho, and let's put some advertising and let's go. I call it shaking hands and hugging babies, working PR in the stores. I'm at Cash and Carry. I'm at Costco. I'm running out to Danielson. I'm a fart in a whirlwind, honestly. I don't know. So even if we had a little bit of energy and a little bit of money, it's diverted to other stuff right now. So that's one of our things. Definitely an area of opportunity that we have is this expansion. This is kind of phase 1. Like I said, we were not ready to take this on. We were tired. We were broke. I can move over here. Sorry. This is far bigger than any restaurant or coffee shop we've had. Nothing else was bigger than about 1,500 square feet. This is 2816. I remember just sitting in the middle of the floor, like, what am I going to do with this? This is overwhelming. I mean, it's just too big. You could have 20 people in here as patrons and it looks empty. You can have 40 people and it looks empty. It just wasn't a good utilization of space. So we made a executive decision. I could do that a lot now. And put up this wall. Got the little sliding door. That way we can have a banquet room. We can shut it off when we're open. We can open up on the weekends, after hours. And so that's kind of what we're pushing right now. We're focusing on that. It was a whole nother venture that we weren't prepared for, so it was a lot of research. What are other people charging? What are other people offering? I didn't want to cut ourselves short, but I definitely didn't want to overcharge and price this right out of the market. So this was kind of what we were working on recently. Oh, thank you, whoever just did that. And then the second phase, we are going to build an ABC patio somewhere along the lines of this concrete thing. Purchase some nice patio furniture, make a better atmosphere out here, be open on the weekends, and do a different champagne brunch menu. The idea of being open on the weekends here, 3 stores open on the weekends, kind of makes me want to die inside. So we're going to push that off. Plus, we're dealing with the ABC board. Enough said. So it's going to be 4 to 6 months out anyways, which gives me an excuse to be like, I don't really have to do it right now. But once that comes in, I think it's really going to transform this corner. I think we're going to do a lot of business on the weekend. So I hope. Just a really cutie patootie for your visual.
So what we have been currently working on is utilizing social media. Like I said, I'm just awful at it. I hate it. I hate the ratchet comments people willy-nilly put on there. I hate the whole idea of it. But I'm working with one of my friends, actually, and she's doing a really good job, so thankfully. This is kind of a different clientele that we've learned from this place. We were focusing a lot on Instagram for the younger clientele at our coffee shops. Here's definitely a Facebook more. And actually, a really nice lady from the Chico ER did an article about us, and we got one of our busiest days after that. So we're working with, Sean is working with the Chico ER to try to do some kind of advertising promotional plan through the ER, which I thought was a dying breed, but apparently people still read that. We teamed up with a guy named Raymond. He it's Renaissance Media or Renaissance something out of Reading. He came and did a Google 360 view of this. So kind of looks like that little tripod with the little camera on it. Sticks it in all the rooms and does these 360 views. So now when you Google, when it's finished, you Google search us, there'll be like a little thumbprint where you can click on it. It's kind of like when you go see fancy hotel rooms online and you can go see all the rooms and like that's cool. So hopefully people, if they're looking for banquet rooms now or looking for the area, they can see it themselves. I'm not fielding as many phone calls that we just clearly don't suit their needs. They can kind of weed themselves out, and then if they're interested, then I get to talk to them. We're going to definitely try to restructure the company. That's kind of a fancy word. It's just Sean and I. But, hiring somebody to kind of do that general managing stuff, putting out fires, wrangling cats, doing all that basic stuff. We wear many hats. So I'm a plumber. I'm a daycare lady. Cleaning lady. But hopefully we can kind of spread out some of that. We're going to try to promote this banquet room a little more by doing events like this. Hopefully tell all your friends. Chico's best kept secret. Please don't keep it that way. And we applied for the packet for ABC. So ideally 4 months out. Realistically more like 6. So hopefully we get in there before it's 112 degrees. But then, since he couldn't be here, he's saying bye. Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate everyone for coming. Sorry for the cry fest. Questions? Wendy?
I'm curious, how did you deal with that issue downtown in front of Pete's? Like, the downtown businesses suffer from the transient population.
Right. So, hard nosed right from the very beginning. So, as soon as we signed out lease, I had AG security patrolling 3 times a night, moving people along.
So, private security.
Private security. So, we pay $200 a month for the ambassadors. That's worked into our rent. That's unavoidable. We paid $270 just to get AG security down there, and then $35 every time my girls need to call them. We have the Target team, which actually when we opened up down there was 6 guys strong. They were there pretty frequently. That's now been cut down to 2, if we're lucky. And bless their souls, Caesar and Mark do a really good job, but they're just quite frankly not there. They're there Monday through Thursday, 7 to 6 or something. I mean, it's not really our problem area. So what had to happen was Sean and I just had to be there all the time. There's no bad behavior. You weren't going to come in and yell at my girls. You're not going to steal their tips. You're not going to make a mess. You're not going to lock yourself in my bathroom. You're not going to sell your goods on my patio. And we had to be there.
Because all of that was happening.
Oh, I could get into some.
Wow.
But we're on camera. And I've told this story before, and it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword because I'm hiring these girls, and the age group I'm hiring is like early 20s, 19 to 23. And they are terrified when I first hire them. I watch them on the cameras, and they're like, somebody will walk in, and it's like, and it just breaks my heart. But you give them a couple months, and all of a sudden, they're like, hey, can somebody help me out front? And they walk outside, open the doors. All right, Frank, you got to go. They know him by name. They come out very choreographed, though, actually. Like, there's 3 of them there, and, one person gets behind them, one person holds the door, and they kind of just walk them out. And I would challenge most people, most incidences, if you're a patron and you're having your lunch or your breakfast or whatever, you don't even know what's going on. They're not screaming, they're not yelling, there's no cussing, it's just like, we either know that you need to leave because I've told you before, or you're demonstrating some really terrible behavior. And I say it's a double-edged sword because I'm so prideful that they're confident in themselves to be like, no, you're not going to treat me like that. You're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat our business like that. But it's like they're 20 years old. Why do they need to be comfortable doing that? Why does Chico allow that? Why is that something that now has to be ingrained in them at such a young? It's a part-time minimum wage job, for God's sakes, you know? But here they are a couple months into it, like, oh no. Now, it used to be like, call Jen, call Sean, call security. You know, they're going to take care of it. Now they just tell me after it happens. Hey, Jen, this is what we dealt with this morning. Pull them up on the camera, take a screenshot of their face. All right, that person's a no-go for whatever reason. And it's like, I'm so prideful that they're at that point, but I'm so disheartened by the fact they have to be at that point. It sucks. But what we had to do in our little corner, unfortunately, there's a lot of easier marks downtown. So we're not curing the problem. I'm not fixing the problem. I'm not helping anybody besides us. So we're just making it uncomfortable. Thank you. And there's quite a few people that feel that way, but then even if you have a small percentage of people that are very, and I don't even want to say they're inviting, they're just hands off for whatever reason. It's a corporation, it's a policy. It's uncomfortable to have confrontation. It's uncomfortable to go talk to somebody that you can visibly see or audibly hear is not in their right state of mind. There's violence. Quite frankly, there's weapons, there's drugs, there's violence. I mean, so it's very uncomfortable. So, I mean, I see both sides of it. It just depends on your individual circumstances. But that's the most expensive thing I own. And we have a right to have our girls feel safe coming to work. And my customers should feel comfortable patronizing my business. So if anybody wants to argue with me about that downtown, anytime. You know where I'm at. So
Just do a 40-second clip of that and start spreading it.
I mean, I talk to people till I'm blue in the face about it because it's going to take all of us making it. Because like I said earlier, we lost a good portion of our clientele. And I'm 100% sure that it had something to do with that because, you know, I was confronted by people, and when I'm not on camera, I'll share stories, but confronted by people, you know, how dare you profile, how dare you, like, treat somebody like that, they're a human, and I'm like, let me explain to you what they did last time they were into my store. Like, you know. Yeah, and so if more people look long term, it would change. There's a landlord downtown, and I won't name drop, but he didn't re-sign a lease with a customer because they wouldn't clean up that corner. Just said, you know what, I'm going to take in the shorts. I don't care how long I sit on it without it being rented out. If you don't clean up this corner, it's not going to work. And that's what we need. We need people that are willing to take a dip in sales, take a dip in income to clean up downtown, period. Because there's too many other easy marks, you know. But we did get the Rookie of the Year award last year for Downtown Business Association, and it was pretty much directly linked to that, cleaning up that corner. Our proactiveness and our ability to articulate what we did and show the results of it had a huge role to play in why we won that award, and I was pretty prideful of it. Thanks. My mom went.
Other questions,
The 7-Eleven at the other end of your block
Right.
is playing classical music
Right.
outside now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know whether that has helped to move people along?
From 7-Eleven, yes. From downtown, no.
Would you consider doing that in
So if you're familiar with our corner, so I lost 606 square feet of my lot to my neighbor because he's going to put this shared space patio that hopefully we can utilize in the morning and they could utilize in the afternoon, and it was going to be great, gung-ho. So instead of putting speakers out on my patio area, we allowed that to wait until that happened because I didn't want speakers on our little corner, and then they had speakers on their patio because they were so close. So we were going to utilize that. And it's a bar, you know, it's lively. It's going to be like a better system, essentially. So all my speakers, when we had to redo the ceiling, went interior. So I'm not against that. It was spoken about. It just kind of didn't flourish with building permits and other people doing the construction and stuff. So
I think that using this room as a banquet space is
yeah.
huge for you. There's a big need for that in this community right now. So what thoughts have you put into marketing strategy for that, or what is your target market?
So we started off, and like I said, we were new to this. So I was like, I don't know, baby showers, gender reveals, birthday parties, and we've done a few of those. My very first one ended up cops being called and fights breaking out. It was a 1-year-old birthday party. I looked at Sean and I was like, what did we just do? You can't make this up. Right. It was gnarly. I had to play security guard. Get out. So that was, it kind of jaded me slightly, but then we got back into it. We do have a few things on the calendar for events on the weekend, which is great, but this was my first attempt at doing some kind of meeting during the day when we're open. They've utilized it. Some of the other offices in here have utilized it, but it was very specific needs. They were under construction. They just needed a place for a couple hours one day. But hopefully we get a couple meetings like this during the hours that we're open, especially in the morning, because that's our slowest time. And that's it. Just hopefully cross marketing with you guys. Anybody else in here knows people, tell all your friends, please. Tim.
How can you just keep the Chico Coffee Company, like all 3 locations, like this in Chico Coffee Cafe and then downtown Chico Coffee?
Because I didn't want people to assume that it's the same thing. So we do made-to-order breakfast and lunch here, and that's not something that we do anywhere else. There's 4 Cal Javas. We own 2. We bought them from Mike and Kelly. So people ask me, Jen, why don't you change the name? Because I don't want to go light $3,000 on fire in the parking lot, because I could call it Jen Jugs and Java and nobody'd even notice. So it's not really worth it. So, but anything we built fresh, our brand, Chico Coffee Company, proudly serving Cal Java coffee. So that's when we did Garden Villa. We're not good at coming up with names. Chico Coffee Company. You mean like Garden Villa Café? This is the Garden Villa Shopping Center, mind you. Like I'm not that creative, and I'm not going to lose sleep over naming something. I can never have children. That's too much pressure naming a kid. So that's why though, because with the Cal Javas, for example, Mike and Kelly own 2, we own 2. And we still get customers like, oh, Mike and Kelly use this specific caramel, and I love it. And I'm like, well, welcome to my coffee shop. We use this caramel. Or, well, they brew this coffee on this day, and you guys brew this coffee. And I'm like, well, okay. So I didn't want to deal with any more of that backlash, honestly. I want to be like, well, welcome to Garden Villa. Here's what we do. The easy way out.
This isn't really a question. It's more of just a comment. Just listening to you talk and stuff, and just since you started coming to 1 Million Cups, following your social presence and seeing you guys kind of comment and foodie cafe, foodie Chico and all that kind of stuff. I feel like the one thing that I see that's kind of missing is the storytelling, and I am a big believer in storytelling and just listening to your passion, talking about why you cleaned up the corner and the importance of your people. I think that if you start telling a compelling story, those other pieces will start to fall into place. So
that's definitely my goal. This is where I'm the crazy one. I'm loud and obnoxious, and Sean's always like la 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 la. Rainbows, everything's pretty. Because I'm I'm gonna go on rants and raves, and I'm gonna tell people what's happening in our store, and I'm gonna be on city council. And he's like, hard no. He's like, you're gonna go mouthing off, and he's like, we're gonna lose half our customers. And quite frankly, in Chico, it's half hard one way and half hard the other way. And coffee's convenience based. You might love me and love everything I do, but if you live on the other side of town, I highly doubt you're going to make a daily trip to my coffee shop. So I see both spots. I've got no problem talking to other entrepreneurs about this. I've got no problem talking to other business owners because they feel me, But when I talk to certain customers that have no idea what we go through, I'm the bad guy. So I definitely isolate a lot of people. So I'm very apprehensive about putting stuff on social media.
Well, it doesn't have to be everything. And I always tell people, when it comes to that, telling a story, you are always going to have people on the far left and the far right. But almost 90% of the time, there's always a starting point in the middle that people can agree with.
Yeah.
And the end result might not be the same, but find those points, right? Find those points, even in the controversial stuff, that everyone can agree with.
Yeah.
Share that. It doesn't need to be the every little detail, but start with those. What can we all agree with?
Right.
There are some things that, for the most part, are not disputable. So
right.
start with those points from your story. It's just like
Courage.
Yeah, I mean, the story is we were born and raised here, and quite frankly, we started off doing a lot better than we are now. I promise you that, and doing our own avenues, but this is what we wanted to do. And we're not millionaires, we're not living lush by any means, but I provide 21 really good people jobs. I help them get from point A to point B. Most of the time it's school, but it might just be a rough patch. They might have just broken up with a boyfriend and living on their own. They might, be coming off some bad family issues. I could write a book, trust me. It's probably why I can't have kids, because I have 21 of them. But, our job is to do everything within our means to help them get from point A to point B. And I find a lot of pride in that. I find a lot of, just goodness in my heart, if that makes any sense. Because, we've all been through that, where the jobs are like, you can't go to school. I'm not accommodating this. I'm going to run you into the dirt. We live a lot different lifestyle here with Cal Java and Chico Coffee Company. So, and I have a extremely fierce, loyal customer base and my staff because of it. So that's why we do it. And I'm not going anywhere because Chico's stuck with me. So we might as well make it nice.
I think we're at time.
Yes, I think we are.
Thanks, guys.
And this avocado toast was real good.